Hello. I'm so happy to see you all today. I'm in living color today. I'm like,
You are.
I'm all the color today. I'm going to figure out what color I'm going to wear next week. That's going to be bright and shiny, right? I love bright and shiny colors. So we're talking about in living color. It's Pride Month. June is Pride Month. This is when we honor the LGBTQIA and more, the two spirit folks, everyone. But what we most honor is that we all are worthy of the divine love, right? We're all worthy. We're all worthy, no matter what it is that we believe, what direction we take in life, no matter what color we are, no matter what age we are, no matter what our socioeconomic status is, we all matter and we are all a part of it.
No matter who we love.
No matter who we love, right? No matter who we love. So we're going to be talking about how we can participate and be a part of loving all that there is. All that there is. I'm so excited about our new space. What do you guys think? It's awesome, right? It's awesome. And this is where we get to start our time here with this affirmation. And say this with me. I fully embrace the spectrum of my human experience. Yeah, we're fully embracing the spectrum of our human experience, no matter what that is, no matter what that looks like, no matter how we're feeling that in that moment or who we love, we fully embrace it. We fully embrace it. You know, the Science of Mind says, or Ernest Holmes writes in The Science of Mind on page 45, he says, it should be considered right to live, to enjoy living. To be well, happy, and to express freedom is to be in accord with divine law and wisdom. He knew this back in the 30s. He knew it back then, that we're all one and we are all worthy. Do you feel that today? Or do you feel worthy? Do you feel like you're connected? If you're not feeling like you're connected, hang out with us. Yes. Because we will make sure you are seen and valued. We will make sure, grab somebody with a name tag on, say hello to them. Let them know you're new or you haven't been here in a while or you've just been waiting for us to come back to Fort Bragg, right? Just let them know that you are happy to be here and they will make you feel so welcome. That's the one thing I love about this community, that no matter what, you're welcome here. That's why we sing My Soul is Welcome Here by Daniel Nahmod at the beginning, right? Because we're all welcome here. In Living Color was a TV series. Y'all remember that TV series In Living Color? Yeah, it was the Wayans family, and it was David Alan Grier and Jim Carrey. And what they did is they celebrated the joy of diversity and the joy of laughter and music and creative expression. And I remember watching it thinking, I don't really get that, but that's okay because I got the next skit. I was being introduced to cultures that I didn't fully know. And they were all doing it with love and joy. And I think that's what made them so special, right? Some of the comedy sketches were controversial and edgy for its time. And it could be problematic today in today's cultures. However, the show blazed the trail for better representation and diversity in the entertainment industry. And its impact can still be seen today. There are Wayans that are still doing TV today. There's a new TV show, I can't remember, Papa's House, where it's one of the Wayans and his son are the main characters. They're still bringing that to our TV. Some actors of the show are still involved in notable projects and making an impact on the world today. Right? David Alan Grier, I see him all the time in television. Jim Carrey's kind of stepped back, but what is he talking about? He's talking about spiritual mind principles. If you look for Jim Carrey online, you know, the guy from Mask. What's that? Oh, well, we're not going to get into the politics version of it.
He's speaking up.
Is he speaking up? Okay. He talks about how we're all one. Whoa. He talks about how we're all one. If you listen to him, he's talking about exactly what we're speaking in these rooms. So despite the challenges and hardships experienced from oppression, marginalized people lean into a culture of joy. It's celebration of living in color. This week is a great time to embrace the joy that resides within all of us, right? Within all of us. No matter the circumstances, there's always a reason to be joyful. Always. If a tree falls in your road and you have to move it out of the way and you're feeling disconnected, there's always a reason to be joy-filled. You were able to move the tree. Yeah, and firewood, right? You were able-bodied, Brigitte and George, to move that tree so that you can continue moving, right? Sylvia wanted me to let you know that she's not here today because a fox got into her cat house. And so one of her kitties needs some special care. So she's watching us from home. So let's all put up your hands, right? And just send love to Sylvia and her kitty. And know that they are going to receive exactly the care that they need, right? This is what we do as community. We take care of each other. We take care of each other. And we have the power, as Ernest Holmes says, we have the right to enjoy living, and we have the power to live each day as if it's the best day ever. It's simply a matter of choice. It's simply a matter of choice. It also requires humility. I had this great discussion yesterday with a friend, and she said, we cannot see, hear, and value another's lived experience until we do honest inventory of ourselves. Oh. We were talking, and she was saying that in order to enjoy and to celebrate diversity, we have to be humble. We have to be humble. And I thought, what does she mean by that? What does she mean by that? And then what she said to me was, if you're walking by somebody on the street who's arguing with someone that you can't see, what do you feel? Do you feel sorry for them? Do you walk around them? Do you walk on the other side of the street? Or are you a part of the solution? Right? If you're walking by someone who is different than you, and I use that example as an extreme, do you avoid them? Do you make eye contact and smile and say hello? That's where you're humbling yourself on a regular daily basis. I love to say hello to people. I love to say hello to what's obviously tourists in town. Right? Why is that? Because they often don't look like us. They don't, right? I love the groups of guys on motorcycles, and when they take their helmets off, they're East Indian. I smile and I say, I'm so glad you're here. And they smile back and say, oh, thank you, right? I want to encourage them to be a part of our community. I want to be that hand that says, I'm so glad you're here, right? When I notice the Hispanic population here in Fort Bragg, I smile, I say hello in the grocery store, even if they're speaking Spanish. I smile and I say, hi, how are you? Don't follow me around the grocery store because I talk to everybody. It drives my husband crazy. But I do. I want to make sure that people are being seen and valued. Seen and valued. Now, if I walk through the store and I don't say anything to you, don't worry. I could be thinking about something, right? Or I have my RBF face on.
Your what face?
RBF.
What does that mean?
Rusty face. I do have it. I do have it. I work really hard at it, but sometimes it still comes through. Don't take it personally. It's just my resting face, right? Well, what she was talking about was that true humility means understanding that you may not survive what that person has survived. Whoa. It's recognizing that we have privilege. We have privilege. We speak fluent English in a country where English is usually the main language, right? Look around this room. We're white. There's a bunch of white folk here, right? We're educated, we're fed, we're clothed, right? It's when we can recognize those things. That's when we can look at someone else and say, but for the grace of God, go I. When we can recognize our privilege. And the same thing is in the LGBTQIA2 spirit community, right? My best friend came out to me when I was 15 years old. He was one of my adopted brothers. I grew up across the street from 6 boys. Mom always wanted a girl. She got 4 boys, and she said to her husband one more time, and if you don't give me a girl, we are out. Done. You are sleeping on the couch for the rest of this marriage. And she had twin boys. Yeah. They moved into the house across the street from us when I was about 7 months old. I became Jerry's little girl. I became her little girl. She wanted one so bad. So it was me, and it was my best friend, Allison, at the other end of the block, but I was directly across the street. Jerry could open the door and holler, Eileen! And my mom would hear it and send me over there. She didn't care if I was in my pajamas, if I had just come out of the bath and hadn't fully dressed. She didn't care. Go see Jerry. Because, my mom, she was trying her best, but Jerry knew how to raise kids because she had 6 of them, right? Rick was one of the twins. And when Rick came out to me, he came out to Allison and I. He hadn't told anybody, including his twin brother. And he said, because there was a big group of us, like 20 teenagers that all hung out together. Rick was a few years older than me. He said, what do you think everybody's going to think? First he told me, and I said, oh, thank you for telling me. And he looked at me like, she's not running away. And I said, I'm not going anywhere. What else do I need to know? And he said, how do I tell everybody else? And Allison and I kind of looked at each other. We smiled. And I looked back and I said, we have all loved you since we all could walk and talk. What do you think is going to change it now? You are still Rick. Just because you're telling us about your sexuality does not mean that anything is going to change. So he slowly started telling our group of friends, which is a bunch of macho dudes, beer drinking party dudes. Rick told them, and they all said, dude, I'm glad you told me. Let me know if there's anything I can ever do for you. But come on, let's go party, right? It never ended. It never changed our relationship with Rick. He was still one of us. This was in the mid-'80s when it was scary to come out, when it was really scary to come out. Rick unfortunately passed away about 20 years ago. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. But he leaves a legacy for me. He leaves a legacy. As I've moved through religious science, I've realized that so many more of my friends are a part of the LGBTQIA2 spirit plus community. And sometimes they tell me, and sometimes they don't. And frankly, I don't care. I don't care. You're still who you are, and I love you. You can't do anything about that. I love you. I have a family member that I hug him every time I leave, and I say, I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And he giggles, right? He giggles because he didn't feel safe around the family for a long time. But for the grace of God, go I. There's nothing separating him and me. So the path to joy starts with gratitude. What are you grateful for today? What are you grateful for today? George Bernard Shaw had a quote, and I'm going to botch this really bad because I didn't write it down, but he's basically saying that he's got gifts and it's his responsibility to share those gifts as best as he can. We have those gifts too. Why? Because we know who we are. We are a perfect expression of the divine. We are it showing up to experience itself as us. We know that our divine birthright is love. We know that there is no separation between one and the source. Ernest Holmes says in this thing called You, if you would catch the vision of joy, which would be yours, you must dry your tears. You must lay aside your fears. You must think from the inspirational center within you, which is nothing less than the divine in you, singing the song of life. Yeah, yeah. You know, in the book, The Color Purple, there's a monologue. Shug is talking, and I'm not going to use her language because I don't want to, because I feel that would be incorrect to say it the way that Shug said it. But I'm going to read it to you anyway. What she says in this on page 195 of the book, God is inside of you and inside everyone else. You come into the world with God, but only those that search for it inside find it. And sometimes it just manifests itself inside of you when you're not looking or you don't know what you're looking for. See, when most folks are challenged, that's when I think it comes up, when we're at the end of our rope. Feeling sorrow, God's right there, she says. Feeling terrible, God. I ask, yeah, it, God. God ain't a he or a she, but an it. But what does it look like? Doesn't look like anything, she says. It's not a picture show. It's not something you can look at apart from anything else, including yourself. I believe God is everything that is or ever was or ever will be. And when you can feel that and be happy to feel that, you've found it. Yes, Shug. In all of her pain she went through, she knew that when you can feel that and be happy to feel it, you've found it. I feel it. Do you? I am happy to feel it. And my friends, I'm here to tell you, you have found it. So again, I fully embrace the spectrum of my human experience. Let's pray, shall we? So knowing that there is one source, one power that doesn't look like a he or a she, but is an it. And it doesn't look anything apart from anything else. It is everything we can see, everything that is unseen, everything that we can feel and taste and touch, and that feeling of joy and happiness and peace and power and community. It's all God. And it is showing up as each and every one of us. It's showing up as all the volunteers that participated in creating this space for us to step into today. It's showing up as the food for our potluck. It is showing up as community. And I call it good. I call it good knowing that it is the way. It is the way to healing. It is the way to prosperity. It is the way to joy. It is the way to happiness. It is the way to peace in the world. And I call it good. I'm knowing that every person that is in need of any of these things, joy, prosperity, abundance, love, peace, power, that is manifesting right here and right now. That as we open our hearts and we open our minds, we say, yes, Spirit, I'm ready. Yes, bring it on. Because there is only one. So I'm grateful. I am grateful for this message. I am grateful for this knowledge. I am grateful for all that there is. And I just let it be. I let it be and allow this prayer to do its thing. I raise my voice, I raise my hands, I raise my heart. And I just let this be. And if you will please anchor it with me by joining me in saying, and so it is. And so it is. All right. Thank you. Thank you.